In the past 48 hours, 3 UN peacekeepers have been killed in southern Lebanon. 3 others have been injured. They were all Indonesian soldiers. The latest attack happened yesterday when an explosion destroyed their vehicle near the town of Bani Hayyan, which is about 30 minutes away from Camp Shamrock, where Irish soldiers are positioned. On Sunday, a Polish soldier who works alongside Irish peacekeepers was also injured when a device exploded near a UN vehicle. The attacks have brought into sharp focus the danger faced by peacekeepers in southern Lebanon, where there are more than 360 Irish soldiers serving as part of a UNIFIL mission. And we're joined in our studio now by Commandant Alex Quigley from the Defence Forces. Good morning, welcome to the programme.
Morning, Justin.
The attack yesterday on the Indonesian soldiers, what can you tell us about what happened there?
Well, if I can first just extend our sympathies on behalf of the Defence Forces for the 3 Indonesian peacekeepers that were killed in the service of peace. Our thoughts are with their families and their friends now, and especially those that were also injured in the attack in their recovery. But I suppose for the wider attack itself, that is under investigation, so I can't really go into the details there.
Where did it happen? It was close enough, was it, to the Irish area of operation?
The Indonesian attack took place in Sector East, which is a different sector from the Irish.
Yes, yeah. But not far. I mean, in terms of it's about a 30-minute drive or so.
Yeah, which would be far in road drive. Yeah.
Okay, and it's not known at this point who was responsible for that attack.
No, that's still under investigation.
Okay, are UNIFIL soldiers being targeted either by Hezbollah or by Israel right now?
I don't think that's anything that UNIFIL have decided to come out on. No.
Okay, so, I mean, it's clear that a number of soldiers have lost their lives and have been injured. I mean, are the soldiers there working on the basis that they are potential targets?
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember that our army personnel are deployed to a conflict zone, so the threat isn't unfamiliar to them, but our personnel are highly trained and highly prepared for these missions. So before they go, they undergo a 3-month mission readiness exercise. They deploy to southern Lebanon, and they are the eyes and ears of the international community. So I suppose what is happening right now is part of their job, and we have the force protection measures in place to mitigate against that risk.
Are Irish soldiers able to carry out their normal duties at the moment? Are they, for example, are they able to go on patrols? Are they able to go into the community?
Yeah, so there's occasional disruption to what we call the framework operations, but the personnel of the 127th Infantry Battalion are patrolling every single day. If the volatility in the region does rise, they may go to what we call groundhog or go into bunkers, but that would only be for maybe like 1 hour, 2 hours at a time. The vast majority of the time, our personnel are out and patrolling.
And they are there as observers and also as peacekeepers, but they aren't able to keep the peace at the moment, are they?
Well, you have to remember the mandate is observing and monitoring. So we are the eyes and ears of the international community. So our role there is to report on what is happening to ensure that there is that transparency.
They're not, though, able to stop attacks from happening.
Well, we can assist civilians if their lives are threatened or, of course, in self-defence. But the mandate itself is monitoring and observing the cessation of hostilities.
Okay, but in terms of the mission at the moment, I mean, is it possible to fulfil that mission, given the level of hostility that's there at the moment and the broader expansion by Israel into southern Lebanon?
I would say it's more important than ever. Our role, as I said, is as the eyes and ears of the international community. And if there is a conflict ongoing and these kind of attacks are happening, we are in the best place that we need to be to carry out that mission and report on that.
The mission, though, does come to an end at the end of this year, doesn't it?
Yes, so the United Nations Security Council has decided that on the 31st of December 2026, the framework operations will end.
And people might ask the question, though, I mean, should it end sooner then? If peacekeepers are being put in harm's way, if they're going to leave anyway in December, why are they remaining there now?
Well, I think the decision to withdraw is one for the United Nations, one for the government. What I'd say is that our army personnel deployed overseas are focused on the operational side, focused on their task and fulfilling that mandate. And the mandate does exist until the end of this year. So while that is still the case, our personnel will focus on that.
Israel is expanding its military operation across southern Lebanon. What have your colleagues on the ground been able to observe in terms of that expansion? What have they seen?
So there has been an increase in Israeli Defence Forces activity and limited incursions into the Irish AO, but for the most part they are continuing in their framework operations, patrolling, observing and monitoring.
And when you say that there's been incursions into the Irish area of operation, what does that mean? What kind of incursions have troops crossed into the Irish area of operations, or have there been shots fired?
Yeah, so it'd be across the whole UNIFIL AO. You would see like limited patrols, for example, Israeli Defence Forces patrols inside the area of operations.
On the ground?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, not just in the air. These are patrols on the ground. Okay. Yeah. And Israel, as we know, has also destroyed bridges across the Litani River. Does that have implications then for the movement of Irish troops to and from Beirut?
Well, that would certainly impact the road movement, but the road move on convoy, route up to Beirut is still open. As you saw on Friday, we were able to do a troop rotation, and the Air Corps provided the strategic lift to conduct that. So the road and the convoy move is still an option.
Okay, and so the current deployment that's there at the moment, when are they due to come home?
So they're due to rotate in and around May.
And do you anticipate any difficulties with that rotation, given the level of activity that's there at the moment?
There may be restrictions on movement in and around that time, but as we proved on Friday, we are more than capable of doing a troop rotation into a conflict zone ourselves, so we can use those assets to fulfil that.
Is it a concern, though, that if Israel is destroying bridges across the Litani River and continuing to do that they might cut off southern Lebanon from Beirut? Well,
if you look at from a military point of view, UNIFIL has both an aviation and maritime force. So those forces can obviously assist in movement and manoeuvrability around the UNIFIL AO. And the Irish Defence Forces equipment out there is quite good as well, so for manoeuvrability.
Look, a word about the families. They'll obviously be worried about their loved ones, the peacekeepers who are serving abroad. What can you say to them about the dangers that are there now and about their loved ones, their soldiers who are serving in Lebanon?
I would just say that now's the time to put the trust in your loved one who has trained, prepared to deploy. They're where they need to be. They're surrounded by very well-trained individuals who also are there, and to have comfort in the fact that our highly professional soldiers are doing their job where they need to be for the eyes and ears for the international community.
Commandant Alex Quigley from the Defence Forces Press Office, thank you very much for coming in to speak with us this morning.